Greetings, everybody. Mike Wilkerson here for the True Blood Transfusion. It's the Fangbangers Podcast, a video-only fan feedback segment where we take your input from our show and convey it to you through our video segment here. Today I'm with
David Carrique, the host of the Fangbanger Podcast.
And we just finished our review of episode 10 of season 4 of True Blood, which you can listen to right now by clicking the links right above us here. If you're at fangbangerpodcast.com, if you happen to be at our YouTube listing, it's YouTube/2 Guys Talking. You can listen and watch to all of the True Blood Transfusion segments. David, let's get straight to fan feedback today.
Excellent.
The first fan feedback we have is from Kelly. Kelly says, is Mike always going to be the poo-poo element inside of your program?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think so. I think you have to remember that, one, I'm not a giant vampire fan to begin with.
This is true.
I'm not a big horror genre person in general. So jumping into True Blood was all about smart writing. And the vast majority of the season has been really great writing, just not nearly what I was looking for and compared to inside of my season 1 experience.
Yeah.
That season 1 was one of those, wow, why am I not watching this program seasons, where season 4, something a little bit different. I'm super eager to see where they're going to go after finishing out episode 10. It's clear to see that they're taking us in a direction that we're not anticipating, and so I'm all thumbs up about that. Kelly continues, seems to me that he's not really a True Blood fan. I'd always thought that since he started in so late anyway. Not a rub, but just don't understand what he doesn't like about this season. It's pretty epic. I will agree with you, especially after the last episode 10,
well done.
Burning Down the House, epic. There's no doubt about that. It was a great episode. We've also gotten a lot of feedback from other fans that says they're going to start watching the program, but they never had watched it previously. So I definitely join you, and I'm kind of especially comparatively, I'm the poo-poo person of the two of us for True Blood. But I think we've been incredibly positive to where we could have been poo-pooing. Fair?
I agree.
Okay. Not a rub, but just wanted to understand why he doesn't like the season. It's pretty epic. Thanks for a show that I always look forward to on my Tuesday morning, guys. Kelly. You are very welcome, Kelly. And again, we love doing the program lunchtime on Mondays and then conveying it to you guys on Monday evening. And you're clearly getting it for your Tuesday morning fix of True Blood. Great stuff. True Blood news, our first note. ABC's Castle Season 4. True Blood star guest role Man Flanagan rides aboard Castle. Ha! This is great. We've had a lot of people that have asked me about a Castle podcast, and I don't have any interest, mostly because anything with Mr. Fillion in it usually gets canceled.
I'm amazed this one's still on the air.
I am as well.
Although my 9-year-old daughter loves Castle.
Really?
Loves it.
One of my best friends, a guy who's actually participated in a bunch of podcasts with us, Kip Lewis, who will be joining us for the Thor podcast, the perspective review of Thor, he's been pushing me to Castle for eons now. And the problem is that it's not available on Netflix autoplay. I don't have the disc package anymore.
Right.
So it looks like I'm going to have to either buy that or borrow it from him or, have one of the fans provide it for me for free, something.
Is it on Hulu?
I'm not sure.
No.
There's our call to the audience inside of our video-only fan feedback section. Is Castle already on Hulu so that I could just go and watch it? Let us know what you think by going to fangbangerpodcast.com. Click on the contact button on the top right-hand side of the page. Fill out that quick web form and let us know if Castle is available to watch on Hulu.com. Another one of my favorite sites that I'm gleefully giving $8 a month.
Yes.
Yeah? Do you Hulu?
I Hulu, but I don't pay Hulu. Since I picked up, for those of you who don't know, I was sans cable for a very long time. I recently picked it up and have been whittling away at my online services. Hulu was the first. Paid Hulu was the first to go. I'm now whittling back my Netflix, and soon I'll be mostly online subscription free.
And that's very interesting. I know that there's a bunch of you guys that are literally only watching stuff that is online now, especially True Blood, because you can watch it now via HBO Go without any problem. A couple of clicks and you're good to go if you're a subscriber to Showtime, obviously.
HBO.
Or HBO, rather. Remember, too, I cannot wait to see more of Nan Flanagan. I love her inside of True Blood, and I think she's a completely underused character. So that they're writing her into this next season of Castle is total thumbs up, and I'm really glad to see a vehicle get behind Fillion. It's not just going to cave.
Right.
That's really refreshing.
Right. Yeah,
it really
it
is. He's had way too many things that he started, and it's just been a speed.
I loved him in Dr. Horrible,
Did you know what his first movie, or I don't know if his first role in it, where I noticed him the other day?
Where?
Well, every year around this time, I will rewatch Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah.
You know who he is in that?
No.
He's the first Private Ryan that they find.
Oh.
My brothers are dead, but they're only 6 years old. They're still in elementary school.
I got you.
Yeah, that's Nate Fillion in that. That's awesome. Anyway, great True Blood news. On to more fan feedback. Gina from Philadelphia writes in and says, nice video segment for the True Blood Transfusion. Number 9. Is Mike wearing pants? Inquiring Fangbangers want to know. Nope.
No, Mike's wearing pants, I assure you.
I am wearing pants. I had thought about it. I voted on not wearing pants for that episode, but then I voted against not wearing pants.
It is hot in the studios, but there is a must wear your pants law in the studio.
Edict. It's pants edict here inside of Two Guys Talking East, inside of historic downtown St. Charles. Again, Gina, thank you for not only the cackling laughs David and I have had over the last couple of days, but also for your question and feedback to the True Blood Transfusion from the Fangbanger Podcast at Two Guys Talking.
I've got a piece of news.
Let's hear it.
We've had a lot of feedback, and we've also had a lot of discussion with what is up with Lafayette's hair. If you go to the HBO.com True Blood website, there's an interview with Nelson Ellis, who plays Lafayette, and in that, he mentions exactly that, what is up with his hair. I quote, there was a year in between seasons, so I think the dude grew a little hair. And now, to complement his scarf wearing on top of his head, he also has some hair to play with. I think his love life also has something to do with it, too. He's in this new relationship with Jesus. It's exciting. People always sort of become more physically conscious because they want to be sexy for a new person. Lafayette is in love, and is he getting a little bored? Maybe, but he's in love. So I'm not really sure that clarifies what's up with his hair, but I think it gives a little maybe justification for why they've done that.
Well, and again, it makes me want to, again, sink our teeth into some of our contacts on set to try and figure out exactly what is going on.
Yeah.
Because we had some Goonie hair. This is the first time I thought it didn't look Goonie, and I don't know if it's because, is it because they provided him with something other than the bandana wrappage or something?
With the crisscross haircut?
Yeah.
The essentially braids straight to the back with some beads in it. I thought it looked good this time. It wasn't distracting.
Yes.
Like it's been a couple of other times this season.
Distracting is the perfect sample of what I'm talking about here. It's what drives television in general, and making something that's not distracting is way better than trying to make a fashion statement inside of television, thereby screwing up everything. So thumbs up for this, in particular episode 10 of Lafayette's hair. The previous ones, not so sure about that.
Man.
In fact, I could swear he was bald in the Mavis episode.
It certainly seemed that way.
Was bald.
It certainly seemed that way.
Okay, all right. All right, more super fun True Blood news. The Fug Girls rate the True Blood character fashion sense. Now, as you can tell, especially from last week's of my not wearing pants, apparently, that I am not the fashion icon, especially here at Two Guys Talking East inside of St. Charles. But what I do appreciate, it's not so much the fashion part of this article and this link, but it was the detail that they provided inside of each of the characters as you step back into the review of what they're wearing and what they're doing. So we're going to link this up via our Facebook presence. So go to facebook.com, type in Fangbanger Podcast, and look for the picture of Suki with the headphones on and the wires going into her neck, and you'll find the link to this story. It's where the Fug Girls, who are the New York Times fashionista folk, they actually go back and they review all of the True Blood characters and what they're wearing this season, which, you know what, I didn't look because maybe they can tell us what's going on with Lafayette inside
That's an entirely good idea.
I will go back and read that, as will you. Again, the reason that I put that in there is not because of the fashion stuff. It's because of the backstory. It's a perfect companion to our True Blood 101 that we did first so many months ago now, that really gives you a good infusion of what True Blood is about, but also who the characters are. So you can jump in with both feet and hit the ground running as opposed to having to hope it's going to be good. The first season of True Blood I thought was an outstanding piece of television, regardless of whether or not you're a vampire fan or a supernatural fan. And this link really does add to that with some of the flavor. The one that I did read was of Suki, and they give the backstory of the character, the look, and then the score. So again, we're going to link that up via our Facebook presence over at FangbangerPodcast.com. Just click through and remember to like the Fangbanger podcast on Facebook as well. Another piece of fan feedback. Glenn from Provo writes, any chance of you guys hitting the most recent Fright Night movie? Well, I want to get to the Fright Night movie. In
Absolutely.
fact, ever since I heard that they were going to remove the camp from it and renew it, that I'm a fan of. Because I think that had they tried to do the camp, the way camp is built into movies now, it would have just turned into another scary movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am totally not a fan of Scary Movie. What I am a fan of is the airplane style movies, which I think those are trying to emulate.
Yes.
But the blunt over the head, what was the 300 one?
Oh.
Was it 301?
Yeah, Meet the Spartans.
Meet the Spartans.
Oh.
That was really tough to watch. There were some funny bits in it, but the reason I watched that is to try and get the flavor of all those superhero movies and and it's there's so much else that I could be doing with my time, like, I don't know, looking at this next season of Dexter.
Sure.
Something. And I encourage all of you to think twice about going to movies like a Fright, the scary movie stuffs, because there's so much else out there to go and see, both in the theaters, but also inside of your own home theaters, either on DVD or Blu-ray. There's so much to see, and you should definitely be taking note of that.
Yeah, so we're going to do a perspective review of the original Fright Night, which links to the Nostalgia Engine on twoguystalking.com. And then we're also going to push for the new movie, which will be coming out this weekend?
It came out last weekend. Came out last week. You know what we do is we always wait 30 days to try and get a perspective. That's why it's called the perspective review. Perspective of how the hype worked, whether the movie worked and succeeded or not, and then also the money and everything else that happens after a movie comes and then goes. So we're going to be able to show you that via the perspective review of Fright Night, both the original one, but then also this new one that I think will be great. And we're going to sandwich in between there also. We worked now months ago to review the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl with the Pirate Media Group that actually have offices right above us. And it was an outstanding review. Make sure you go to Two Guys Talking and look at that. All of those pirate reviews are just a real ton of fun. We put a lot of lifeblood inside of Two Guys Talking into those. They were very, very good. What we're going to be doing is they actually made a movie. The Pirate Media Group made a movie called Shadowland. It was all made here inside of St. Louis locally and features a bunch of local talent both in front of and behind the screen. So we're going to be happy to review that as well in perspective review. It's going to be sandwiched right in between the original Fright Night perspective review and then the new Fright Night perspective review. So a giant, big old fat sandwich
of vampire
mess.
Yeah.
That will also be featured here inside of the Fangbanger podcast, obviously. Great input. Again, thanks so much, Glenn, from Utah. True Blood news. This was outstanding. How many of you are subscribing to The Bloodline from HBO?
Not me.
Not David.
Not me.
Well, last night around, it was probably 6:30 Central, my time, I got a call from Jason Stackhouse. The difference is that Jason Stackhouse had an incredibly Aussie accent. And so obviously Ryan, who plays Jason Stackhouse, provided you with the reminder that the new episode's coming up. And it's another one of those fan interaction things that I love to push because I love that level of fan interaction.
Right.
Where it's not him calling you, but it's him calling you and a reminder to let you know that there's an episode on real soon. And it's another great super fan interaction play that I love to promote here at Two Guys Talking. Great stuff. Remember, you can go and get your own phone number submitted to the True Blood Bloodline by going to FangbangerPodcast.com, and that most recent news link for the episode 10, this episode, you can actually link right to there, put in your phone number, and then you too, next week Sunday, will get a reminder of the next episode of True Blood coming right up. Our last piece of fan feedback comes from Marketeerman556. Marketeerman556 writes, what's up with Suki and her not using her powers to just shut the Fangbanger up and read minds already?
Fair enough.
Very fair enough. Let's continue here. How much shite has to hit the fan to realize it's time to pull out all the stops? I would also request that more True Blood news and less whoring of two guys talking, or I'll have to whip out the dislike button again.
Oh, my.
Really? Is that a threat?
I think it is.
Don't you push that dislike button.
I encourage you to push the dislike button, as a matter of fact. I call your bluff.
Hey, note the pants.
Number 2, guystalking.com.
I wore the pants for you so that you would not dislike us anymore. Anyway, the real fan feedback, though. I agree with you. Why?
You know what?
It's time to start pushing.
In this most recent episode, episode 10, Suki used the full spectrum of her power. She used her lightning bright light on Eric, and then she was using her her telepathy as a means of coordinating the attack. Yeah, so well done in that case.
It was really well done, but also the mind reading part is what Marketeer Man 556 here brings up. I have to agree with that. If ever there's been a time to start pulling out all of the stops and getting rid of all of the internal, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Now would be the time to do it. I totally agree with you. As for whoring two guys talking stuff, too bad for you, dude. Hit the dislike button.
Yeah, I agree.
So we come to the end of yet another episode of True Blood Transfusion, where we feature True Blood news and two guys talking feedback of all kinds, not just True Blood. And I want to inspire all of you to go over to iTunes and put down a review number of our most recent episode review, episode 10 of Burning Down the House of True Blood. Remember, you can listen to that right now by clicking the link right above us if you're at FangbangerPodcast.com, and let us know what you think. Until next time, I'm Mike Wilkerson, the co-host of the Fangbanger Podcast.
And I'm David Treat, the host of the Fangbanger Podcast.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.